Well, hello, we made it. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas. It is Christmas Day. I am really behind in keeping up with making videos on YouTube, but you know what? I'm here. I'm here now. I always have the intention of making, and I have been pretty good at making videos regularly over the last few years, but the video that I normally make for my birthday in November, I thought of videos every single day. I'm talking to you, it's, virtually through the thought, I guess, basically daily, but I've been busy. That's the long and the short of it. I've been busy, and priorities and self-care, and getting stuff done. So there's been a bit of delay, and in my list of priorities, although I love making YouTube videos, it's more of a hobby that kind of took a bit of a knocking. On the upside, just to catch up, what I have done is I'm in school. Yep, I'm taking courses, counseling courses in psychology. So that's been something that I've been really doing well in, and I've been postponing that for 30 years for many reasons, financial and self-esteem and all that good stuff, and all of the learning curves and all of the bumps and bruises that I've gathered over these past 30 years to postpone. Well, now I'm actually doing it. I'm doing this program, and this train is moving forward come hell or high water. So I'm really feeling good about that. But it does take a good 30, 35 or more hours per week. And on top of that, I work. I work as a clinician with addiction. So those two things, I've had to kind of jiggle up stuff in my life. So yeah, I made the move to go back into mental health, which was what I was in prior to early childhood education when I had kids. So I took a good 16 years there to rejigger my life at that point so that I could accommodate being present for my children. And that's what worked for there. But now I'm back on track with previous goals. And so anyways, long story short, here I am. Here I am. And I guess for this year, I didn't make a birthday video. So there you go. What I did though, and if you see me checking down, of course I have notes, just so that I can, make efficient use of time. So what I did for my birthday, and I'm really lucky because my birthday, I'm a Sagittarius, and I fall right at the time of Black Friday sales. And I've never partaken in those Black Friday sales. But this year I did. I discovered I did. So let me show you a little bit of my craziness. Yeah, I'll just share a little bit of my crazy. And I think one of the reasons why I indulged so much in buying Oracle and tarot decks in abundance at the Black Friday sales is because I have a love for it, and they were just such good prices. I went through Hay House and through Amazon, but Hay House really had crazy great prices. They have limited selection though, so if they have anything left after I shopped, maybe you can go and buy some there. But anyways, my practice, my spiritual practice has been changing a little bit. So I still have my altar. I'll just kind of show it, and I always had to kind of darken it out. I put a big cardboard on my window so that it wouldn't give a lot of glare. But this is how it is right now. I kind of have, there's some storage for altar props and stuff, different supplies. But it's like crazy lamps and stuff. So I've got an end table over there, and a matching end table on either side of two tables. So it's kind of like, I made a little bit of a nesting thing, so this kind of slides out when I want it to, and there's all sorts of tchotchke all over the place. Of course, rebel witch, because that's a requirement. And then my two, both my parents each had on their dressers. I've talked about it before, but they each had on their dressers show you Mother Cabrini's, and so I inherited them, which I'm very proud of. So yeah, they're there. So that's my altar right now. But, and of course, behind the laptop here, there's like supplies and shelves of books, and nothing exciting and nothing tidy. So it's an organized mess. But my practice is really kind of changing because a lot of what I do now is journaling and oracle card, like tarot card related. Not a lot of it has to do with elements, although if I'm going to do something that's ritualistic, it's a lot with elements and talking to spirit in general. So I had the candles and that. I have really come to really love my Athame. I went all of these years without it, kind of thinking it was optional for me. When I bought this, it was really well priced at $13. I think I have a video for that. Maybe I should link it down below since I'm mentioning it. And for me, it's about cutting energetic ties, cutting out all the garbage that does not serve you anymore. And then I burn those ties on candle flame. I have a little bit of a incense kind of a part of my ritual with it. So that's basically what I use for this. So it's not about directing energy, casting circle or whatever. I use this solely because I get lots of people saying things and I got to cut the crap, right? So this is my tool for that. Yeah. My cut the crap Athame. So in keeping with that, I think over the next holidays, since yesterday was my first day off, because clinicians, they work up until Christmas, right? I celebrated Yule with my kids. Well, with one was gone, but the other one we celebrated, and I gave her some gifts on that day, and we really kind of spent some time with them. So, but over the holidays, what I'm going to be doing is revamping my altar space because there's some things that just probably have to go into boxes for a while and make it more reflective of who I am and what I do now, which has changed this past year. And also because I have been busy with work and school, I haven't really had a lot of time for spiritual work. And I've been feeling it so much. I need it. But the last thing that I want to do after working in paperwork during the day and then schoolwork for a couple of hours at night and is to do journaling and more kind of thinking work on my spare time. So that's where the ritual and the meditation and the cleansing kind of comes in. So because I want to do something that's not related to anything that has to do with reading words. So yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act this year. So I'm going to show you what my haul is. I'm so excited. First of all, let me show you. Yeah, I got this one. Oops, I got this one. Muse Tarot. Yeah. And I think what I'm going to do too is the next couple of days I've set up like a point form. I've literally yesterday in my pajamas in between naps, I set up in my journal just a bunch of point form notes on videos that I want to make because I've been planning them kind of in my head all of this time. I just haven't been doing them. So now I'm putting them down on paper and hopefully I can just kind of set up back to back a bunch of videos and just sort of post date them and maybe that'll work. Anyway, that's the intention. How do you spend your holidays? Catching up on YouTube videos, making them and watching them. So anyways, yeah, I got the Muse Tarot and I am so in love with it. I really, really am spending a lot of time in the last while. And sometimes I just have time for one card. And so I'm going to put it here and I relate it to whatever it is that I'm living. So that's one. The other one is the Earthcraft Oracle. This one has a lot of really vibrant colors. This one I've yet to open. This is going to be my new yummy. See, it still has the paper, kind of the plastic on it. So I got the Modern Witch Tarot. I did. I finally got it. Oh my God. This has been all of these have been on my radar for a long time. As an addiction worker, no, as a clinician, a primary counselor for addiction now, I've kind of changed jobs. So I'm working a lot more closely with clients on a one-on-one now. And Melody Beatty is kind of something you need to know about in that that field. So of course, along with having a couple copies of her book somewhere. Huh. Well, anyways, I have 2 copies of her book because when I went to school for addiction and mental health, I bought 1 copy and then a second copy came to me by mistake. So I have a couple of them. But anyways, now I have the cards to go with it. And this kind of work, if you're really interested in doing work in addiction, is a very healing process. So it's really bugging me. Got stuff all over here with, I'm not finding a copy of her book. Anyway, Melody Beattie. So she wrote the best-selling The Language of Letting Go is the book that I'm trying to find for you to show you. It's kind of like a greenish sort of a book, and these are the cards that she made. And I may just feature each of these decks and how I work with them, because I'm not entirely sure how people work with their decks. And I will be prompting people to kind of like maybe come up and show how they work. But not that people have to. It's just that it's very personal. It's very personal how we end up, telling our own stories and working through our own kind of private matters, right? But I'm really interested in knowing the skilled techniques and things that we do to be reflective with our cards and with our oracle cards and so on. I mean, we say journaling and how beautiful the cards are, and how, how this deck has, these kind of colors, and this one has this kind of paper stock, and this one is marketed in such a way, and this whatever. But I don't know that we really spend a lot of time kind of sharing how we work with them beyond just saying that we journal and the cards call you on your shit, and doing shadow work, which is sort of like a broad umbrella term. But yeah, so I'm gonna be probably making some videos, at least I'm planning on it, about how I work with my cards, because I don't use them in a predictive kind of a way. I don't like, oh, this is going to, happen, fortune telling. I don't do it that way. And I don't think that a lot of people do work with cards much that way. So at least not the channels that I gravitate to. There's some that are predictive in value, but I tend to do other things with my cards, like introspection as a tool. So anyway, SelfCare by Cheryl Richardson is another one that I got. And of course, along with SelfCare, this one, the Sacred SelfCare Oracle. Now, I think these ones I got through Hay House. Their prices were just so fantastic. So I think I'm going to really sort of look at what they have that's new and pile up the card again for next November. Hopefully things will be available. There's so many things that I wanted to have that were out of stock on Hay House. So hopefully. This one I bought twice by mistake. I did more than one haul. I did one on a Friday and one on a Monday or something like that for the Black Friday sales. And so I gave the second one to my youngest child. And they really love it. So that's another good one. This one I worked with this last night, Spellcasting Oracle. It's another one on my haul. And when these ones were like, $10, $12 a shot on their sale, it was really a great. I didn't want to say no. I could have. Sacred Destiny Oracle. And this one I actually finally got after years of and the truth is, the price of them is a deterrent for the most part. When I'm shopping on Amazon or anywhere else, when my budget is like, I'm paying for this because these are my priorities, there's living expenses, there's tuition, there's, all kinds of expenses. And so my priority for fun money doesn't go for coffee or bingo or cigarettes or whatever. It goes to this, but still, it doesn't mean there's a huge abundance. And even if I was a millionaire, it doesn't mean that I want to spend $40 on a deck. Not that this one is $40, but some of them are. So, so anyways, this Hay House Black Friday sale was really awesome. Really awesome. And so I finally got that one. Not on the Black Friday sale, but something that I got, I think in early September this year, was the Osho Zen. This has been on my list, and it goes in my cart and it gets out, and it goes in my cart and it gets out. And so finally there was a really great sale at some point. And for whatever reasons, maybe it wasn't a sale, I don't even remember when, but I just wanted it so much that I finally got it. So I'm looking forward to getting into this and seeing this once upon a time, I think, on Katie Flowers quite some years ago. It's been on my radar for a long time. So it's been a long time coming. These ones have been a long time coming for me. Now I'm going to actually just mention these next three. But I have a special video idea reserved especially for them because, well, you'll see why. So these are the teachings of Abraham with Esther and Jerry Hicks. And they're all about the law of attraction cards. So this one is the money and the law of attraction cards. This one is health and the law of attraction cards. And this one is 60 card deck, the law of attraction cards. So they're all similar, but a little bit different. And they are going to be featured on a separate video at some point in the near future. So, I think that's it for my, nope. I love this one. It was under my journal, my tarot journal, my journaling scribbler there because I work with this. This one has a special place for me. I've bonded, especially, I think, out of all the ones that I've mentioned right now, the Muse Tarot and the Soulful Woman I am just really bonding with a lot. So Soulful Woman guidance cards, highly recommend these ones. Of course, why do people say that? If you're recommending them, why does everything have to be highly recommended? Just do what you do, man. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, then it doesn't matter if I recommend it highly or not. I like them. Some books that I'm going to feature here are not kind of in the spiritual realm, but they're basically some things that I bought for myself in my own professional work, and you may find them useful, so I'm sharing them. So this is 101 Trauma-Informed Interventions. This is completely academic and not light reading. This is by Linda A. Curran. So here's her name up here. And these are basically interventions, but they work with, like, for instance, here, you might want to try psychodrama. I'm just giving you the title page. There is a lot of writing to explain the thing. There's Bodywork in here. So joy, confusion, what does that look like in your body? Where do you hold it in your body? So they, so they give kind of diagrams so that you can make photocopies and then scribble it. They have various yoga exercises, breathing techniques, punching with angry eyes. Here is some more yoga poses and different, body work. If you're kinesthetic, which is that you want to use your body to, if you're more skilled with using your body as opposed to using your words, they talks about boundaries. That's boundaries there. Exercises. It talks about 5 categories of boundaries include physical, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and intellectual. So this may be something. It talks about family values. There are prompts to journal in the book. A lot of, body work, so in diagrams of body work. It may be something that's interesting to you. It talks about yoga and something that started with a Q that I am not not familiar with it, for those who are. Qigong, okay. So anyways, I know I'm talking to a community of healing people, and then it talks about the shadow self. The shadow self, all exercises, all techniques. It's not just reading the theory of, basket weaving. This is about your emotions, and so you have diagrams there. Role playing. So anyways, 101 techniques, 101 trauma-informed interventions, okay? Activities, exercises, and assignments to move the client and therapy forward. If you're into that and you like reading from a workbook, I really prefer workbooks a lot of the time because it gets me involved. Sometimes it's fun to kind of read about the theory of something. It's like, okay, I can connect the dots there. But then what do you do with that information, right? It's nice to know that, rats run around in a maze to get the piece of cheese, but how does that apply to me? So this actually gives that. This one I really quite like. It's a workbook. There is a book that I bought once upon a time, the original one. Oh, I didn't think this before. And of course I'm going to have a hard time finding it. I'm not going to waste time. There's a yellow, smaller book that I have somewhere in the world in my room. And this is a sequel. This is a bigger workbook, but the original one, was written by Gary Seidler. Gary Seidler, right there. That was the original one. This one's written by this guy, Tian Dayton. So it is a workbook. If you are an adult child of an alcoholic, and it used to be called ACOAs, Adult Children of Alcoholics. Now they call it ACAs for some reason, Adult Children, and they just don't put the ACAs. It's a workbook that for people who like to talk about doing shadow work. This is not classified as shadow work, but it kind of helps to dig into what you say, what you think, what you do, how you feel, and working in who you are in relation to the person's people, places, and things around you, so that you can work through reactions and reflections and responses. That's kind of my best sort of synopsis. But it comes from the perspective of when you grew up with an alcoholic parent. So now that you're an adult, what do you do with the things that you've learned? The shame, the guilt, the conditional sort of regard, the pain that you carry, the resentment, the loss, the grief that comes along with that, and how to kind of switch that into resilience and hope, and how to transform your thinking. So I think that workbooks like this are really pretty important. So what I just said about that book also kind of applies to this book as well, which is Adult Children of Alcoholic Parents, an evidence-based workbook to heal your past by Kara Lissy. I am an adult child of an alcoholic, and I remember letting yourself grieve and just working through that crap. Now addiction is just so pervasive. It's like, if you want to carry shame along, as part of the package, as part of the illness, it's not just an illness that deals with the person who's suffering, but there's everybody around has to adapt, and then there's illness that gets carried. So when I was, now I'm not going to be able to find that one. Some things I can rely on. This is a book that I got actually in, I think, 1991. And it was my first relationship with the words of Adult Children of Alcoholics. I found this at the Lakehead University in Thunder Bay bookstore on a shelf in the self-help section, which is one of my favorite areas. And it said, daily affirmation for adult children of alcoholics. And I thought, what? Adult children, for one thing, how can you be an adult and a child at the same time? What kind of a stupid book is this? Is this a comic book or something? Like, what is this? So I started reading, and I was like, I relate to everything that's in here. What is this? How can they know such intimate details about how I feel secretly, about how I perceive the world, based on the fact that, my dad had addiction, and So I bought the book, and it's been close to me ever since. Oh, right here I bought, so March 24th, 1993. I wrote it down in there. Yeah. So that was my first, and it was, ooh, price tag's coming off. I'm going to have to glue that in there because I'm a geek that way. $9 and something cents. It's all crumpled up. So that was my first introduction into what is an adult child of an alcoholic and how it relates to me. And so I've been healing ever since, because it's like, it's a studied thing. It's like real. So yeah. The Addiction Recovery Workbook, Powerful Skills for Preventing Relapse Every Day. So I myself don't suffer from substance addiction. However, quite possibly that I am addicted to taking courses, because there's evidence of that for like 51 years now. That's something that I'm going to explore. Yeah. And I think that's kind of related to the book buying, book reading kind of achievement thing. But, it's also a hobby that I like to learn. Anyways, there might be something there. So, addiction recovery. That one's good. And this one's probably not going to be as relevant. This is the addiction treatment planner. If there are any clinicians out there, this is all based on the DSM-5, and really only very specific to people who are practicing. So I'm just going to show that for a brief moment, because for the average person, that one's not going to be relevant at all unless you have to write up reports and stuff. So, yeah, that's my haul. And I just wanted to kind of come in and say hello, Merry Christmas, and kind of catch up on some things that I wanted to say up until now in the last 3 months, because I have been kind of AWOL. Just, what do you call, AMA, just leaving against medical advice, just leaving. I'm out of here. I've just been doing my own thing, treading water, literally kind of getting up quite early in the morning. And and this is another one I want to read. Waking the Tiger, so healing trauma. Peter Levine. Anything by Peter Levine, read it. Peter Levine, Brene Brown. Brene Brown works with shame, vulnerability, and shame, guilt, and vulnerability. So if you're not a book reader, then go to those names: Peter Levine and Brene Brown. And Gabor Mate is also another favorite one of my authors. And those authors are about trauma and addiction. And if you don't want to be if you're not a book reader, then go to the YouTube, and there's tons of videos there that give healing resources. So, that's my gift to you. That's my gift to you, is to give you some resources. So Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, and have wonderful end of year festivities. Stay safe. The pandemic is real. And hopefully next year I'll be able to kind of catch up for my birthday video and my, winter solstice video, and be on time for stuff. But, you do what you got to do, baby. And if you've stayed with me this long for, my video, I thank you very much. This has been a really great time to connect and come back. So I'm going to now get really diligent and make some more videos and post-date them so that we can get on with the show. Okay? Take care. Have a great day. Onward and upward.